In a society plagued by the insidious specter of articism, one woman dares to speak truth to power, shattering the illusion of innocence with a sobering revelation. In this compelling video, a courageous palm-color lady lays bare the uncomfortable truth that lurks beneath the surface of American society. With unwavering candor, she confronts the pervasive nature of articism in America, declaring boldly that for any palm-color person to claim they are not artist is nothing short of miraculous. Drawing from her own experiences and observations, she exposes the systemic biases ingrained within the fabric of American education and culture. Now, as she goes deeper into the heart of the matter, she exposes the fallacy of WS perpetuated by the myth of race, a myth constructed to uphold the status quo and preserve the privileges of the dominant group. In her searing critique, she reveals how education in America has been weaponized to reinforce this myth, relegating Black voices and achievements to the margins while lionizing palm-color males as the epitome of greatness. But beneath the veneer of superiority lies a profound insecurity, a fear that to relinquish the myth of WS is to forfeit one's very identity. In a society built on the foundations of racial hierarchy, the relinquishing of palm-color privilege is seen as an existential threat, a threat that must be fiercely defended at all costs. With that said, check out her video. I will be right back.
All whites are racist. Can you expound on that, please?
Any white person who was born, raised, and schooled in the United States of America, if you aren't a racist, you're a miracle. Either that or you decided to educate yourself. Because education in this country is about white is right, brown's all right, black's got to stand back. Yellow's mellow, but whites, we educate in a way that says that white males have done all the adventures, have made all the adventures, have done all the discovering, have made everything that is good and has been accomplished according to social studies, which is actually anti-social studies, by white males. It's a lie. But we do that in order to maintain the myth of white superiority. The myth of race has to be maintained at all costs in this country. Because if white people have to give up the color of their skin as being something that makes them perfect, what do they have left? If we start teaching the truth about history, if we start teaching about Nile Valley contributions to civilization, it will totally change the way we conduct ourselves in the classroom. It will have to. Columbus didn't discover America. You can't discover a place where people are already living. But we celebrate that every October. It's a lie. We need to get over. We need to stop telling the myths and start telling the truth.
So when you tell people that they're racist, and it must have some kind of effect, because most people will say, I'm not racist.
I'm not a racist. Why, some of my best friends are black.
Right.
Yeah, and then you say, name one. Or this one, I don't see color. And when some woman says to me, I don't see color, I say, I knew that if you saw color, you wouldn't dye your hair that way. Or I say, if you saw color, you wouldn't wear that shirt with those pants. I believe that you don't see color. It's an attempt to deny skin color. And it's an attempt to deny what's wrong with seeing the color of my skin. Is it all right for you to see me kind of pink? That's okay for me. I don't mind, and I suspect that you don't mind being seen the color you are. You have a right to be what you are. And until people in this country and people in this world get it into their heads that the first modern human beings that evolved on this earth were black women. They evolved in sub-Saharan Africa about 280,000 years ago, and every human being on the face of the earth today has the memory of those black women's genetic structure in their genes. Now, we don't want to admit that, but that's the way it is. And as people moved farther and farther from the equator, their bodies produced less and less melanin, so their hair, their skin, and their eyes got lighter. As they moved into the east, they ate a lot of fish and a lot of vegetables, so their skin took on a different tone. I found that out when I was raising little kids. My husband worked in a supermarket. He was the head of the produce department, and they had lots of oranges that they couldn't sell, so he'd bring them home, and I was feeding my kids orange juice like you never saw in your life. They began to have an orange cast to their skin. I thought they had a liver problem. So I took him to the doctor, and she said, what are you feeding these kids? I said, well, lots of orange juice. She said, stop it if you want them to stop being orange. Now, if you think that skin color isn't anything other than the body's natural reaction to the natural environment, get over it.
So, if all white people are racist, according to you, can they be reprogrammed?
Of course they can. Of course they can. Of
How?
course they can be. It's called education. I'm an educator. The word educator comes from the root duc dus, which means lead, the prefix e, which means out, the suffix ate, which means the act of, and the suffix or, which means one who does. An educator is one who is engaged in the act of leading.
Now, the Palm Color Lady's candid commentary on articism in America resonates deeply with the stark realities faced by marginalized communities every day. Her assertion that any palm color person not acknowledging their inherent biases is indeed a rarity speaks volumes about the pervasive nature of systemic articism. She points out the inherent biases ingrained within the American education system, where narratives of palm color superiority are prioritized and celebrated while the contributions and struggles of Black people are often downplayed or ignored. Now, this systemic erasure of Black voices perpetuates harmful stereotypes and reinforces the myth of WS. Her assertion that maintenance of the myth of race is essential for palm color individuals to uphold their sense of superiority is a poignant reminder of the psychological mechanisms at play in perpetuating articism. Palm color privilege is not just about material advantages. It is also about maintaining a sense of superiority and entitlement based on one's skin color. By shedding light on these uncomfortable truths, the Palm Color Lady challenges her fellow palm color individuals to confront their own biases and complicity in perpetuating systems of oppression. She calls for a reckoning with the privilege and power that comes with being palm color in America, urging her audience to dismantle the structures that uphold racial inequality. Now, her commentary serves as a powerful reminder that the fight against articism requires active engagement and introspection from everyone, regardless of race. Only by acknowledging and addressing their biases can they begin to dismantle the systems of oppression that continue to marginalize and disenfranchise communities of color and Black people. Now, this Palm Color Lady's commentary provides a crucial perspective on the pervasive nature of articism in America, shedding light on the deeply ingrained biases that permeate society. Her assertion that being born, raised, and educated in America inherently exposes individuals to orthodox ideologies underscores the systemic nature of racial discrimination. Now, she adeptly highlights how the American education system often perpetuates narratives of WS, relegating Black history and contributions to the sidelines. This erasure of Black voices not only perpetuates harmful stereotypes, but also reinforces the myth of WS, ingraining it into the fabric of society from an early age. Moreover, her assertion that maintenance of the myth of race is essential for palm color individuals to uphold their sense of superiority speaks to the psychological underpinnings of articism. The fear of relinquishing palm color privilege and grappling with the implications of equality challenges the very core of palm color identity constructed around notions of dominance and superiority. By bravely confronting these uncomfortable truths, the Palm Color Lady calls upon her fellow palm color people to acknowledge and confront their own biases. She emphasizes the importance of education not just in terms of academic learning, but in unlearning the deeply ingrained prejudices that perpetuate racial inequality. Now, her words carry a profound resonance in the ongoing struggle against articism in America. Her candid acknowledgement of the inherent biases ingrained within American society, particularly within the education system, challenges people to confront uncomfortable truths about the systemic nature of racial discrimination. By shining a light on the pervasive myth of WS perpetuated through education, she underscores the urgent need for reform and inclusion of diverse perspectives in curriculum development. Her astute observation that the maintenance of the myth of race is essential for upholding WS exposes the underlying insecurities and fears that drive orthodox ideologies. This recognition prompts us to interrogate the mechanisms through which palm color privilege is perpetuated to actively work towards dismantling these structures. We have finally come to the end of the video. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.